What's going on, guys? We're back. The Left Field Mike Show. That was a little too enthusiastic, but hey, for the 3 or 4 people that are going to watch this video, I'm here for you. Let's talk sports. But today, we're not really going to be talking sports. We're going to be talking about stadiums, baseball stadiums in particular. If you're like me, and you like to visit stadiums all around the country, I try to do that. I try to go to a new stadium every year with my buddies. This year, me and my buddies went to Coors Field. Last year, me and one of my best friends went to Great American Ballpark for the first time. So, if you're like me, you like to visit new stadiums you haven't visited before, this video is for you. Here are my takeaways from the 11 active Major League stadiums I've been to, and they are as followed. I have been to Citi Field, Citizens Bank Park in Philly, Nationals Park, D.C., Great American Ballpark, Cincinnati, Ohio, PNC Park in Pittsburgh, that's 5, Coors Field in Denver, Yankee Stadium, Fenway Park, Oriole Park and Camden Yards, Progressive Field, and last but not least, this place over my shoulder, Globe Life Park in Arlington, Texas. Let's get started. Citi Field. I've been to Citi Field many times, more often than any other stadium in baseball. It's a good place to watch a game. First of all, if you're new, take the train. You don't want to spend the money on parking. Traffic can be tough getting in and out of the stadium. Take the 7 train. It tends to run express, so you can get in and out of the city relatively quickly on the 7 train. You're probably riding it with Met fans as well. Take in that experience. The Jackie Robinson Rotunda is cool. You can take a picture of the old Shea Stadium apple outside the ballpark. It's always a good spot to meet people. In terms of the stadium, a lot of good food options. I tend to bring my own food. A lot of people think you can't bring your food into stadiums. Most ballparks will allow you to. But a lot of good food options at Citi Field. The Shea Bridge is an awesome place to watch the game. When I was in college, I used to meet up with a lot of my buddies on Mets Twitter. We'd watch the game from the bridge, and then if the game got out of hand, I'd walk downstairs and take a look at the bullpens. Very accessible stadium. Cool to watch the relievers warm up, and you're right there. So Citi Field, definitely recommend it. Wish it was in an area where there was more stuff going on around the stadium, but hey, just hop on that 7 train. You're back in the city. 1, 2, 3. Maybe not 1, 2, 3, but you're back in the city. Citizens Bank Park in Philadelphia. Citizens Bank Park is basically in an area where all the stadiums are. So you have the Sixers at the Wells Fargo Center, the Eagles at Lincoln Financial, and you have Xfinity Live, which is like an entertainment center, which is pretty cool before or after a game. Live music, bars, TVs, outside areas. Good place to pregame or good place to just hang out and chill with some buddies. That's what I did last year before a Sixer game. It was pretty cool. Now, in terms of the stadium, very fan-friendly, a lot for the kids to do. You get a cheesesteak at the ballpark, which is cool. If you sit behind the plate upstairs, you get a nice view of the Philadelphia skyline. I like the ballpark. You can also check out the bullpens, kind of like Citi Field, where it's pretty friendly to the fans. Nationals Park did not blow me away. I didn't love Nationals Park, but I liked it. The Jumbotron's very big. You can take the Metro to the game, though I will advise you, I think the Metro shuts down at a certain time, so you got to be careful. I'm not 100% sure, but it might, so look that up. The stadium is cool, didn't blow me away, but you can see the Capitol building from certain seats, which is a nice touch. Now, to the Central, PNC Park in Pittsburgh, beautiful. Get a sandwich from Primanti Brothers before the game. Primanti Brothers is, I don't know, maybe a mile away or so. It's on the other side of the Roberto Clemente Bridge, at least the main location is. I'm not a Pittsburgh native, but I've been there a few times. That stadium is really nice. Get the sandwich, walk over the Roberto Clemente Bridge to the ballpark, really take in the sights. The stadium is pretty much right on the river, which is really cool. And when you sit in the ballpark, especially for a day game, even if you're upstairs, not a bad seat in the house. Not a bad seat at all. And you can see the nice skyline. The skyline is gorgeous with the bridges in the background. Highly recommend going to that stadium. It's all about the location with that stadium. Right downtown. Love it. The only drawback I'd say is right now the Pirates aren't that competitive. So the stadium's not selling out. I guess like they were when the team was like a playoff team. But in due time, we'll see if that changes. Great American Ballpark, very underrated. I really love the city of Cincinnati. As a city, it's awesome. Everything's downtown, not too far from Paul Brown Stadium where the Bengals play. You're not too far from Jack Casino. You can literally walk into Kentucky from Great American Ballpark within 10 minutes. You can walk the John A. Roebling Bridge, one of the most historic bridges in the world. People don't realize that. But the stadium's in an awesome location, you know, right by the Ohio River. It's great, man. I would highly recommend going to Great American Ballpark, and that city's so underrated. And you gotta get yourself some Skyline chili if you're not allergic. Skyline chili, man, it's a chain, Cincinnati region, Kentucky, certain parts of Kentucky. Skyline chili, delicious. Now to the NL West, Coors Field, Denver, Colorado. Just been there. Didn't love the city of Denver. Love the stadium. I bought an ice cream for I think $5.50 at the ballpark, and this thing was like freaking this big. I could have had like frostbite finishing this. It was huge. Ice cream was massive, and I was a big fan of that. So, in terms of the stadium itself, you can see the Rocky Mountains past the left field, where left field just extends. You have those seats down like the first base line. You get a nice view of them. Really cool. There's a walkway upstairs over right field where people hang out, congregate during games, get some craft beers there. I'm more just a cold Budweiser kind of guy, but if you like craft beers, Coors Field will get it done for you. AL East, Yankee Stadium does not blow me away. I'm biased. I don't really like the Yankees, but the stadium's not that bad. It's not great. It's a big structure. Even though the field's small, stadium's very big. Monument Park, check that out. And in terms of traveling, take the 4 train or the B or the D. You don't want to drive. It's just a lot easier to take the subway. It's a little better than Citi Field in terms of area around the ballpark where you can go to bars and restaurants. I mean, you have that accessibility by Yankee Stadium, and just not as extreme as other downtown locations, because the Yankees don't play downtown in Lower Manhattan by any means or anything like that. They're in the Bronx and the Mets are in Queens. So in terms of the stadium's cool. Very small on the field. A lot of homers are going to be hit. Atmosphere is going to be electric. The Yankees tend to draw very, very well, and rightfully so. Their owners spend money on players. So why not? Go to a Yankee game. Fenway Park. Listen to this one, because if you're going to Fenway Park, you need to know a few tips. First of all, before you buy your tickets, make sure your seats are not obstructed by a pole. Fenway Park is a very old stadium. Poles hold up the grandstands. You can spend upwards of whatever. You don't want to spend $100 on an obstructed seat. I'll put it that way. It probably wouldn't be that much anyway, but like, you don't want to spend all your money on an obstructed seat. Don't do it. Look it up. When you get to the ballpark, walk around the stadium. Literally go around the block. Take in the sights. Walk behind the Green Monster. The first time I was there, I felt like I took a time machine with Doc Brown back into the early 20th century, early 1900s, man. You feel that way. It's like, wow, this is like freaking old school, man. And then reality sets in when you're spending a ton of money on concessions. So enjoy the aspect of the history of Fenway Park. Enjoy how that feels. And really just, when you get to the ballpark, get all your business done before you sit down. Go to the bathroom if you need to. Get your food, buy your souvenirs, whatever you got to do. Just get it done before the game starts, because people do not want to be going in and out. You don't want to be that guy. The seats are very narrow. The aisles are narrow. It's very cramped. This isn't a ballpark with bells and whistles where in the 3rd inning you're going to a club, the 4th inning you're going swimming, the 5th inning you're whatever. You ain't doing that stuff at Fenway Park. You're there to watch the game. So sit down, watch the game, and enjoy yourself. It's a great place to be. Oriole Park in Camden Yards, Baltimore. I love it for batting practice. It's my favorite park in baseball to watch BP. You get there early, walk down Utah Street. The warehouse is a great touch. A lot of good food there, especially on Utah Street. Check out BP. If you're in right field, you kind of have like room to walk around and stuff. You bring a glove. Last time I went there, I had 2 baseballs in batting practice, which was pretty awesome. I really like Camden Yards, and I would highly recommend going there, not only just for the ballpark, but the Inner Harbor is a few blocks away. A lot of good seafood there. It's really, really nice. There's good hotels there too. And you have the Babe Ruth Museum, which is not far away from the ballpark as well. They're all within walking distance, and the Babe Ruth Museum is sick. So check those places out. To the Central, Progressive Field, very similar in the sense of it's right in the heart of Cleveland, downtown. And that's why I like Cleveland. People give Cleveland a bad rep. People make fun of me for going to Cleveland on vacation, not once but twice. Yeah, I did that, and I drove. You know why? Because Cleveland's pretty cool. Everything is downtown. Me and my buddies loved it. Well, maybe not one of my guys watching this, but for the most part, everyone I've taken to Cleveland has had a good time. The bars are really good around the stadium. You got some good areas to go to. Jack Casino, Quicken Loans Arena, right there. So the city's very nice, like downtown. like right downtown, a lot of good things to do, and the stadium is in the heart of downtown. So there's always things you can do around the stadium. Now, in terms of the stadium itself, it's not going to blow you away, but it is an open-ended stadium, which a lot of people, I tend to like open-ended stadiums, and it's fan-friendly. I like to throw. They have like the speed pitch thing with the radar gun. That's something that is a draw to me personally. I don't mind blowing the hell out of my arm, trying to hit the high speed, which I happen to do that night. But yo, there was a 12-year-old who threw like 78 miles an hour, and that was like, I don't know what this kid was doing, but whew, that's impressive. Anyway, the last stadium I'm going to mention to you is my favorite to go to in all of baseball, and it is hurting me inside that this stadium will no longer be in service for baseball, at least. This stadium, Globe Life Park, Arlington, Texas. Now, it just feels like baseball, you know? It feels like baseball. The office building, the way like the grandstand is just set up, it just feels like a baseball stadium. Now, in terms of the heat, you need to wear sunscreen. If you're going to a day game, midsummer, I'll give you a quick story. Me and my pops, we went to a game a few years back, had great seats down the third base line. We thought we hit the jackpot. They were affordable. We didn't have the section to ourselves, but it was fairly empty there. Then on the flip side, first base side was packed. I'm like, man, Dad, what's going on here? By like the third or fourth inning, yo, if you ever seen the episode of SpongeBob where SpongeBob and Squidward are delivering the Krusty Krab pizza, and they're just going, man, and SpongeBob's excited, he was just hyped, he was ready to go, but then like towards the end of that route, they were just shot, man. You could just see the sweat coming down. They were shot. That's how me and my dad felt in like the fourth or fifth inning. We had a puddle of sweat underneath our seats. Our shirts were saturated. We needed a canoe, just get out of the seat, whatever. But we couldn't take it anymore after like the seventh or eighth inning. We couldn't sit there anymore. It's too hot. Don't let that derail you. Sit in the shade if you have to. It was also a very hot day. Wear your sunscreen and just walk around, drink your water, enjoy yourself. Because the stadium's gorgeous, and if you have a chance to visit it before the season's over, highly recommend you do so. A lot of good food there. Everything's bigger in Texas. Don't count your calories in Texas, man. Eat up. You get the boomstick, the 2-foot-long hot dog. They also have like a 2-foot-long chicken tender. I believe they were selling chicken and donuts on a stick. Man, everything's bigger in Texas. Don't count your calories. Eat the food. Enjoy the ballpark. And Chuck Morgan is a great PA guy, best PA guy in baseball. Very fan-friendly. You got the dot race, the sing-along deep in the heart of Texas. I love it. And just like Philly with Xfinity Live, you got Texas Live right down the street. Texas Live just opened up a little over a year ago, and it is absolutely stunning in there. A lot of big TVs, outside room to congregate, drink some beers, bars, restaurants, live music, great place to go. Anyway, that is it for me. Drop a comment in the comments below if there's any stadiums you have visited that maybe I haven't, or even if you agree with me on anything, whatever you got to say about these stadiums, any advice for me, criticism, if you want to make fun of me, Trevor, you can do so. I'll take it. Drop it in the comments below. Rate, comment, subscribe. Do what you got to do. I'm out of here. God bless you guys, and talk to you soon.